When learning to cook, you need to understand the basic methods and principles of cookery. Those principles can then be applied to any dish from any country in the world. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the techniques, ingredients and equipment used by professional chefs globally. Understanding the methods of cookery, it's like understanding a universal culinary language. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about deep frying. And deep frying is the method of cookery where tender meats and vegetables are placed into hot fat until they're beautiful and crunchy. There's so many ingredients you can deep fry: tender meats, fish, vegetables, and even the odd dessert. Now, deep frying has a temperature range of 150 to 190 degrees. However, we only use 150 degree temperature when we're blanching chips. All other deep frying is done between 180 and 190 degrees. What I want to start today with is these chips. You can see here that these chips have been pre-blanched and they come that way in the packet. If you're going to peel and cut your own potato, that is when you need to blanch them first in 150 degree oil, remove them from the oil, reheat the oil to 180, and then you can put the chips back in. Before you fry the chips, make sure you're organised. Have a tray with some paper toweling on there, and that will absorb all of the fat when it comes out of the deep fryer. You can season the chips with salt and pepper or put them with some beautiful sauces. Today we're going to make a batter, do some fish and serve that with the chips. Before you start frying, safety first. Always roll down your sleeves. Certain products, especially herbs, can spit hot oil at you, so roll your sleeves right down to protect your arms. Make sure the deep fryer is nice and hot, 180 degrees. Lift the fryer basket out of the hot oil, and then you can place the chips safely into the basket. Lower the chips into the oil very gently. Sometimes they do spray a little bit. In the first few moments of frying, chips and other products can stick together, so a very gentle shake will loosen them all apart. Whenever you're deep frying, never use tongs. They act as a funnel and the hot oil can run down the tongs and land in the palm of your hand. Always use a spoon that's got holes in it so the oil can drain freely. The best way though is just to use the basket. While the chips are frying, I'm going to make a really simple batter. This one here is lovely and crunchy. We're using a small amount of soda water and some self-raising flour. The idea with the batter is to get a nice thick batter that coats the food. A thin batter is known as tempura batter. When you're doing tempura though, you need really hot oil. When you're making batter, look for the consistency of thick cream. Absolutely perfect. Now let's have a look at these chips. They're nice and golden brown, a nice crunch on the outside. Let them drain well and then hang the basket. It always takes 10 seconds or so for some of the oil to drop off. Place the chips into the tray, hang the basket again, and then you can season the chips. A small amount of salt, and they're right to go. Now, I'm not going to serve them on the plate just yet. I want to cook my fish first. Over here, I've got some rockling fillets. It's a lovely white fish. Firstly, what you need to do is place the fish into some seasoned flour. That allows the batter to stick well to the fish. And because we've seasoned it first, it's going to add a salt flavour to the fish as well. Move the fish through the batter so that it's well coated. And that's it for a beautiful crisp batter. With fish, we need to remove the basket. If I place that into the basket, the batter will sink through the basket and stick. And when I take the fish out, it'll literally tear off the fish. So we need to remove that now. Carry the bowl over the deep fryer, and then you need to swim the fish. I call it swimming the fish because you can't let go. Move it around so it doesn't stick to the base, but be careful not to put your fingers in the hot oil. Once the fish is floating, you can then let go and it will stay on the top of the oil. Never overcrowd your deep fryer. If you put too much in at the same time, it cools down the oil and then it'll soak up the oil into the batter. Again, don't use tongs. Use something like a spider, would be perfect. You can see the beautiful golden colour on the other side of the fish. Most fried food cooks within 2 to 4 minutes. Drain the oil really well and then place it onto your absorbent paper. A great way to tell if you've got a good batter is to scratch it. And if you can hear that crunchy sound, you know that it's nice and light and crunchy. Now all we have to do is present. I'm going to place the chips in the centre of the plate, and that's going to give it some lovely height. Stack the fish up against the chips. We're going to use some lemon wedges to garnish and a little bit of chopped parsley, and it's that simple. Great colour, great crunch, excellent flavours. I love deep frying. Remember, it's not what you cook, it's how you cook it.